The black hole, an area of space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape its pull. For centuries, black holes were just a theory until astronomers actually captured an image of one for the first time in 2019. The photo showed a bright orange ring with a dark central region, which is the part from which no light can escape, called the event horizon. While we have come a long way in understanding black holes, there is still much we don't know about them. So here is what would really happen to you if you were to fall into a black hole. First, let's talk about how you would even get close enough to a black hole to fall in. A black hole's gravity depends on its mass and how far away it is. The closer you get to a black hole, the stronger its gravity becomes. If you got too close, you wouldn't be able to escape its gravitational pull and would instead get pulled in towards the center. Once you cross the event horizon, it's impossible for anything to come back out. Not only does this apply to objects, but also light. Because no light can escape a black hole, they are invisible. The only way we can detect them is by observing the effects they have on nearby matter. This is why the photo of the black hole in the 2019 study was able to show the orange ring. It was able to capture the light coming from the material around the black hole, not the black hole itself. If you were to approach a black hole, you would see this bright orange ring as well. And if you were brave or foolish enough to continue moving forward, you would pass the event horizon and enter the black hole. But before you do that, you would notice something strange happening to your body. You see, as you approached the black hole, the gravity would start to pull on you more and more. As you get closer and closer, the gravitational forces would become thousands, even millions times greater than the Earth's gravity. This means that the closer you get to the black hole, the more compressed your body would become. Eventually, as you cross the event horizon, the gravity would be so strong that it would literally crush you. The immense pressure would cause your body to be squeezed into a thin pancake shape. At this point, you wouldn't be able to recognize yourself anymore. You would just be a pancake of matter. As you continue falling into the black hole, you would notice that the light around you starts to change. As you approach the center of the black hole, the gravity is so strong that it distorts the light coming from far away. This means that when you look up, you wouldn't see the bright orange ring anymore. Instead, you would see a distorted version of the universe. You would see stars and galaxies that are very far away from you, but because of the black hole's gravity, their light would be bent around you. This means that you would be surrounded by a distorted view of the entire universe. It would be like looking up at the night sky and seeing the Andromeda galaxy right above you. At this point, you would also notice that time is passing very differently inside the black hole compared to outside. As you get closer and closer to the center of the black hole, time slows down dramatically. This means that as you fall into the black hole, time would seem to slow down to a halt. If you were to look back up at the opening of the black hole, you wouldn't see the bright orange ring anymore. Instead, you would see a black disk. This is because the gravity near the black hole is so strong that it prevents any light from escaping. This means that once you cross the event horizon, there is no way for light to reach you from the outside world. You are completely cut off from the rest of the universe. At this point, you wouldn't be able to see anything at all. The only thing you would be able to do is feel the immense pressure of the black hole crushing you. As you get closer and closer to the center of the black hole, the gravity would become unbearable. It would be like being crushed by a giant hand. The closer you get to the center, the stronger the gravitational forces become until eventually they are so strong that they rip apart your body. At this point, you wouldn't even be able to recognize yourself as a human being anymore. You would just be a collection of atoms. And as you get even closer to the center of the black hole, the atoms would be ripped apart as well. They would be stretched and torn until they are no longer bound together. At this point, you wouldn't even be able to recognize yourself as a collection of atoms. You would just be a stream of particles. And as you get closer and closer to the center of the black hole, the particles would be ripped apart as well. Eventually, you would reach the singularity, the center of the black hole where all the matter is crushed together. At this point, you would no longer exist. You would be completely destroyed. But wait, there's more. You see, according to Einstein's theory of general relativity, the singularity doesn't have a physical size. This means that as you approach the singularity, it seems to move further and further away. This means that as you are being crushed and torn apart by the immense gravitational forces, the singularity seems to move further and further away, taunting you as you approach it. Eventually, you would be crushed and torn apart completely and cease to exist. However, some scientists believe that this is not what happens to you when you fall into a black hole. Instead, they believe that you are transported to another universe. According to this theory, black holes are portals to other universes. When you fall into a black hole, you are not crushed and torn apart, but instead you are transported to another universe where everything is different. Some scientists even believe that this other universe is our past. This means that when you fall into a black hole, you are not destroyed, but instead you are sent back in time. This is why some people believe that time travel is possible. If you were to fall into a black hole, you could be transported back in time. However, this is just a theory and there is no evidence to support it. Most scientists believe that if you were to fall into a black hole, you would be destroyed. So what do you think? What would happen to you if you fell into a black hole? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more. This was James, and you've been watching your channel, Valley of Knowledge. Stay curious, and see you in the next one.